Think about the place where you work, the building you work in. I'll bet you anything, before that building was constructed, you had a team of architects and designers. You may have had landscape architects working with you, interior designers. You probably had committees talking about room layout and what color is the carpet going to be. You may have gone out in the parking lot with masking tape and mapped out rooms to make sure everything would fit and move around okay. But when it comes to the things that really matter, the employee experience, the customer experience, those things are not determined by the visible architecture of bricks and mortar, are they? They are much more influenced by the invisible architecture of values and culture and attitude. And where's the blueprint for those things, the things that really matter? And we encourage organizations to actually create, and I mean literally create, a document that is your cultural blueprint. And we use a construction metaphor where the foundation is core values, the superstructure is corporate culture, organizational culture, and the interior finish is attitude in the workplace. And let's look at each of those a little more closely. The foundation of core values. You should have, every company should have, a statement of core values that defines who you are, what you stand for, and what you won't stand for. It should be unique, it should be authentic. I'm amazed at how many, we do a lot of work in healthcare. I'm amazed at how many hospitals just copy down something like I care, and you can almost guess what it means: integrity, compassion, accountability, respect, and excellence. Well, the problem with a generic boilerplate statement of values like that is, number one, that's a pretty low bar. Of course I expect integrity and compassion and excellence from you. I expect that from every hospital. How does that make you different and special? Number two, you do this acronym, I care, in hopes that people will learn it and know it, and they probably don't. And it doesn't differentiate you from anybody else. Having a statement of core values that is authentic and unique establishes who you are as a company. And let me give you two examples. Contrasting examples. In Iowa, where I live, there's a company called ClickStop. They started out selling truck parts online. Year after year after year, they are one of the fastest growing companies in Iowa, rated as the best place to work. They have 6 core values, one of which is expect greatness in yourself and inspire it in others. Another is make time for fun and family. Not one of their 6 values has to do with growing a business, making money. They're all about being better people, and yet the result is growing a business and making money. Now contrast ClickStop with a company called Cypress Semiconductor in the Silicon Valley, where the stereotype culture is, laid back, bring your puppy to work. Cypress Semiconductor, they call themselves the Marine Corps of Silicon Valley. Their CEO wrote a book called No Excuses Management. And one of their core values is, Cypress is about winning, we do not tolerate losing. Now, you could not ask for 2 different examples of an approach to creating a statement of core values, but in each case, they are unique, they're authentic, and they help to define who the company is, and they help the company never make hiring mistakes. I mean, who would go to work for a company that says, we're the Marine Corps of Silicon Valley, and instead of make time for fun and family, like ClickStop, we say things like, the best thing about Friday, only 2 more working days until Monday. It helps you clarify the kind of people you want and then what you expect from them. So here's a question for you. We're talking about courage and perseverance and resilience. Should those things be incorporated in a statement of core values? I mean, should that be fundamental to who you are? We help you be courageous. We expect you to be resilient, and we're going to be there for you to do those things. And if so, if it's not now, isn't this a good time to take that plaque off the wall and reconsider it? Should you have something about self-care? Make time for fun and family. Make time for yourself. Take care of yourself. Should that be a core value for your company? Now, on that foundation of core values, the superstructure is culture. Corporate culture, organizational culture. I define it very simply as the personality, the character of an organization. And sometimes you can feel it within minutes. The difference between Costco and Walmart, the difference between United Airlines and Southwest Airlines, McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. They're in the same businesses, What is different is the culture, and you can feel it pretty quickly. And there's an exercise that we encourage people to do. Define your culture in 6 words. Not a laundry list, not some advertising slogan, but how do you tell your story in just 6 words? Cypress Semiconductor does it. The Marine Corps of Silicon Valley. 6 words. They define what you can expect if you're an employee. They define what you can expect if you're competing. Southwest Airlines, they have 3 core values: warrior spirit, servant's heart, fun-loving attitude. If you give them the hyphen, that's 6 words. Warrior spirit, this is what you can expect if you're United, American, Delta, competing with us. Servant's heart, this is what we expect of you if you're our employee. Fun-loving attitude, this is what you're going to experience if you fly with us. In 6 words, they really tell the story of the company. Now, the company that really defined having a culture code was Netflix. And if you haven't seen their, I think it's a 180 slide deck on the Netflix culture code, which has spawned many others, you should look at it because it's very well done. But you could distill their philosophy down into 6 words. We hire only fully formed adults. And they talk about we're not a family, we're a team. If you're not the best performer, you're going to get a generous severance package. But it all comes down to you better be a fully formed adult if you're going to succeed in this company. Now, at Values Coach, we have 6 words that we think defines a culture of ownership. In a culture of ownership, people are emotionally positive, they're self-empowered, and they're fully engaged. Those 3 qualities help define what a culture of ownership looks like. And we distill it further into 3 words. In a culture of ownership, there is a mindset of proceed until apprehended. If something needs to be done, do it. Don't just complain about it. If you need help, ask for help. Don't just wait for somebody else to notice it and come along and help you. Now, back to our construction metaphor, where the foundation is core values, the superstructure is corporate culture, the interior finish is attitude in the workplace. And this is really where the rubber hits the road. And often what you'll see is a gap. You know, if you build a building and there's a gap between the foundation and the walls, or the wallpaper is not hanging on the wall properly, you know there's been a gap in the construction. We see this in companies where one of their values maybe is integrity, but their culture tolerates 2 people talking about a coworker behind that person's back. Their culture tolerates bullying, and those things diminish your organization. Those things reduce the psychological safety you need to have in order to build a culture of courage and perseverance. So one of the things that you should do is you should define your behavioral expectations. What do you expect of people? And what are your ZTBs? We call them zero tolerance behaviors. Hopefully, physical violence would be one of them. But do you tolerate 2 people talking about a coworker behind that person's back, spreading rumors? Is that okay? Do you tolerate bullying? Do you tolerate incivility? And then take all of this work that you put into it and actually create a document. And I want to share with you, we've worked with Children's Hospital New Orleans for a long time. They have a statement of core values, it's 6 core values, but then they created a statement of cultural philosophy. And it outlines 8 essential qualities that they expect of people. And I want to share one with you. One of the things that they say is, we play so our children can play. And I'm going to read this to you. We believe in the healing power of laughter, play, and fun. We create an environment that encourages curiosity, playfulness, and joy to inspire hope, courage, and optimism for our patients, these children we take care of, and their families. We make a point of smiling at people in corridors. It's not optional. We make a point of it. We expect you to do it. We do our work with joy and enthusiasm. And we set an example of positive optimism for the children and the families we serve. Now, if you visit Children's Hospital New Orleans, you will experience one of the most positive healthcare cultures I've ever worked with. And it started with them being very clear about their values, their culture, and their behavioral expectations. So That's my challenge to you. Take a little bit of time away from the business, working in the business, and work on the business by creating a cultural blueprint for your values, your culture, and your attitude.